Hi, I'm Angel, and I'm a freshman. And I'm going to be reading my piece, The Family Room. Humans are extremely social creatures. A single week or even a day without human contact could cause someone to go insane and or impair their mentality. And that's where the family room comes in. Family rooms are the fruit of pleasure. Every family room must contain a couch or two and one or more matching chairs. A TV is also required so that you can gain ideas for new conversations or wander into a rift between reality and fantasy. But a TV is required. The most important resource for a decent family room are humans, and maybe Wi-Fi, but mostly humans. The family room must accommodate at least 17 people, even if the room is 16 by 18 square feet. The decor is also important for a homey family room. It should start with a table used for food, drinks, games, and most likely a footrest. You should also have wood flooring. If you have carpet, that's fine, but you should add a rug to it. For some reason, putting a rug over carpet makes sense. Does it amp the luxury? I think it's a trend, but I really don't know. And also, if you have stone flooring for the family room, why?
Hi, my name is Andre, and I am a junior. Almost a senior, almost there.
Yeah.
All right. What I am reading today is my first picture ever. When I was little, I had two older cousins. My older cousin is 6 years old, and my youngest cousin is 10 months older than me. When we were little, our parents didn't have a lot of money for pictures, so our grandma would dress us up and take us to get professional pictures. It was hard to sit still and keep our eyes open. The camera flashed, I felt like it blinded me for a second, and we had to retake the picture because our eyes blinked. When we got older, one would have to stand or kneel on our knees, or even lay down. Then we had to hold that position till they took the picture. Grandma got a lot of pictures of us and our families, but it took a lot of hard work from us to sit still or pose for them. My oldest cousin, she was such a poser. Some of the pictures were at Christmas time, and we had a lot of special backdrops behind us with a Christmas tree and fireplace. Some were in summer, and we were wearing our summer clothes. And when I was little, I got to bring in my favorite toy. My dad and I took pictures together when I was 5 or 6. I also got to wear my black cowboy hat and had a little toy rifle that was in the picture.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Giovanni. One day, I woke up and I was on a mountaintop. Might have been a hill, I couldn't tell, but what would follow was bound to be hell. I sat up when I realized I was sitting on a carpet, and I saw several dwarves, and it looked like they made me their target. They knocked me down, and when I realized their plan, I began to frown. They laid me down in the rubber. They had a look in their eyes that they were thugs. I asked them, "Yo, what's your biz?" They responded, "That's just the way it is." They rolled me up in the carpet from my feet to my armpits. Then they rolled me down the hill. I tried to break out, but they had too much skill. As I rolled down the hill, I could hear a man, and I know who it is. The man was Bruce Hornsby. The song was "That's Just the Way It Is." Before I hit the bottom, I was hesitant to find a theme. But then I woke up. It was all just a dream.
Hi, I'm Hannah.
I'm a graduate from the UPrep program. This is called Rewritten. Bold, positive, trusting, self-assured, unafraid, valiant, unbroken. That was last year. That was inside jokes and late conversations about everything and nothing. That was fun. That was friendship. So you made me believe. That was before I fell for that perfect sparkling white smile that you flashed at me as you snipped my ties with everyone else. Having me isolated on this island you call friendship. Then poof, you deserted me too. This was supposed to be an easy, fun-filled year. Ended up being like a rainstorm in November, cold and depressing. I come here, fearful, closed off, depressed with anxiety attacks. An outcast joining other outcasts, all fearful of one another. An uneasiness swirling around the room, an emotional tornado. A room filled with anxiety until that one brave soul takes the S and banishes all awkward feeling. With our notebook and pen, we tell our own stories, through fantasy and adventure, through powerful poems and short stories. Pieces so moving you didn't think a teenager that doesn't even look up from their phone when they're at the dinner table could write. We mask our struggles, hopes, and fears in our rhymes and one-liners, our similes. We get lost in the fairy tales we create. We become our characters. Our anxiety floats away as our pens hit the paper, carving and chiseling away those fears as we create a new world. Through our prompts, we see a side of each other no one else does. We hear about broken hearts and fears, about young love and childhood stories. We hear about far-off places and plots better than any TV show. Our hearts grow, and that confidence soars as we lift each other up with, "I loved it, amazing, yes, give me more." We encourage and inspire one another as we leave here with confidence, strength, ready to conquer what life will throw at us. We leave here with our heads held high, with new friends and a new voice, ready for any challenges we may face. I leave here with wounds healed, new friends that I know will stay by my side. I leave confident with a newfound voice that matters. I leave here gripping that yes, never letting go.
Hey everybody. How you guys doing? We good?
Good.
Great. I'm Isaiah, and I'm in 11th grade. Well, I wasn't in 11th grade. It's called I'm From. Wait, no, it's not right. I'm reading Teachings. I learned from my dad that it's good to have feelings. I learned from my friends that it's fun when you're stealing. Sometimes bad things happen and they'll leave you reeling for good times and weird times and fun times and bad. Sometimes just to feel things, I have to be sad. I learned from Chasse that you have to be numb because there is no stopping the web that's been spun. But if you get caught, then at least you won't fall. Sometimes it's more fun to learn nothing at all.
Hi, my name is Leon, and good night. So I'm a hyper freshman, and what I'm going to be reading is, I guess, a little story I'm starting to make, and this is just a little chapter. As a war is raging, a planet is dying. The planet Electron was a peaceful empire protecting allies from the dangers of the galaxy, until the humans arrived, curious of their culture. Each human arrived in a shuttle that could go many light years away from their home planet. The Electronians, however, let them in with open arms, believing that they could make an alliance with them. Unfortunately, they were wrong. A new force that called itself the Darkness possessed the humans and turned them into the first of his army. Their general was originally a scientist who found interest in extraterrestrial life. A war then followed. Battles for many places on the planet became more violent each time. Every time a battle occurred, it also made a higher risk of fall of Electron. Near the end of the war, the General Red Lightning was dying due to illness. In his 5-year-old act, he gave his lightning stone to White Lightning, a loyal soldier who fought alongside him during the war. He gave the lightning stone to him so that he could hide it somewhere far in the galaxy. As White Lightning was attempting to escape, the general of the army corrupted Red Lightning, turning him into his most powerful soldier. However, he was just too powerful, killing the general and turning himself later. His first act was attempting to shoot down White Lightning's shuttle. This act, however, failed, but the lightning stone was shot out of the shuttle, causing it to drift in space for many years.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Matthew Pastor, and I'll be reading you my exclusive poem, Forest Soup. The forest haze obscures you from every direction. It is not the place you want to trek through. The vegetation shrouds the sky with its blanketing leaves. Every creature uses nature's cover for their protection. Bugs chirp, birds flutter, lizards scuttle, and wolves thunder. Every twig that snaps in half, a beast roams the undergrowths. Sturdy trees stand tall against the wind, and feeble twigs pull in sullen snaps. Forests thrive off of the cadavers left from wolves' hunts. Forests drink the crystal waters of dying streams. Animals take cover under the thickets of leaves in the trees' crevices. Forest animals cannot live without each other. Second prompt is what is under my bed. From countless crumbs to dirty blankets, a bag filled with gummy bear soldiers, important emails, and a box of forgotten memories. Wooden boards that creak and groan, a blood-sucking, red-eyed dust bunny that devours crumbs, gummy bear soldiers, or whatever decides to take a look under the bed. A sock that mopped up leaking pens, a shoe without its pair, a secret passage to the kitchen door. A kitchen with no stove, a kitchen with food scattered across the counter, a forgotten bowl with mold growing, a bag of groceries ready to be put away, a computer waiting to get soaked with water, a bag of stale leftover chips that no one bothered to throw away, a pot with a cactus that smiles at you with every second that ticks away, a fish tank that is empty, and a ceiling fan that never worked. A rack of old, worn-out knives that should be recycled, and a drop chute that leads into the basement. A basement with a few windows to peek through. A broken-down, rusty old pickup truck to hide in, and a basement that's home to many silverfish.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'll be reading Unlucky Stars. If the stars could see, they would be far from full of glee. They would take one look and try to flee. They would glance at the human race, trying to be the greatest they could be, and witness the corruption within us, trying to break free. Why, you might ask, would they fear you and me? It's our unreasonable hunger to break all rules, including gravity. If the stars could hear, they would quiver with fear, listening to our relentless anger, absent of a single tear. Hearing our plans to leave Earth and come near, they would think of a way to keep us forever trapped here. If the stars could smell, they wouldn't feel well. The number of poisons we've released, they couldn't tell. While we're on Earth thinking all is swell, they would be yearning our fall as those before us fell. If the stars could taste, they would make great haste, unable to run from the greatest enemy they've ever faced. The bitterness in the air would be worse than waste from the unintentional toxins we've gifted their race. If the stars could feel, they would know our dangerous ways as real. Though they would try, nothing would come of their desperate appeal. But something we'd learn before either of us would kneel is that the fate of the universe belongs to neither of us to seal. The second one is Wisdom's Voice. There is a voice that speaks without a word. A song so beautiful, it will always be heard. As the dead sleep, their dreams surround the blessed tune of its unearthly sound. The voice will whisper to those who listen of knowledge so right, it will forever listen. Just as wisdom of youth are like shooting stars that make brilliant the sky from you to your far, the wisdom of old constellations fixed in the sky's dome, and always able to guide the sailors home. This voice will speak for eternity, yet still, the minds of the ether it will gratefully fill. No matter how big or small or weak or strong, this voice of truth will never be wrong. This voice is wisdom and never fails to call, even as great nations repeatedly rise and fall. Not even time can corrupt wisdom's voice, but to follow its guidance is always your choice.
Hey, I'm Morgan, and I will be reading Short Nights on the Heights. A lone man stood atop the mountain, staring down at the action below. He had an illumina in his hand, looking for an invisible foe, for you see, the illumina can view a ghost walker's wielder, no matter their level. The user of the illumina spotted the wielder of the ghost walker and jumped. He lunged forward, landing in the fray of many noobs' blades. However, he was after this target who had come too close, the ghost walker's wielder. Rushing forward, he charged with his sword at the ready, but the ghost walker had other plans. He put his sword away with haste and brought out a new sword which he had collected from a nearby pedestal, the ice dagger. This caused the illumina wielder to hold in his tracks and to turn to him. The ice dagger was an instant block, so you got hit, you see. However, there was a proper counter to this, and the illumina wielder knew this. Fighting through the noobs that still had their normal blades, he rushed for the firebrand. After obtaining it from a perilous tightrope, he turned around with the firebrand and lunged at the nearby ice dagger user. Their battle was valiant, long and fierce, with much twirling, but the user of the ghost walker collapsed near where the illumina was, on its pedestal. With one final slash, the illumina user used their illumina to deal the final blow. As the pieces fell off the plank they had fought on, the illumina user muttered 3 words, GG, no read.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Keating. I just finished my sophomore year and I will be reading Promises. Promises are powerful, and when promises are broken, it can be damaging. Many of us promise our friends that we will do something. Most of the time, we end up not doing it at all. This can break trust very easily. I try not to make vows because I don't want to hurt anyone. I'm the kind of person who wants to make sure everyone is happy. And when someone is not having a good time, it shuts me down. I have made a lot of promises in life. I promised people that I would plan something, then I end up not doing it at all. I try my best to keep them and make sure I do what I say I would do. I would never promise to do something that I know is wrong. I've been promised things, and not all of those vows were kept. My friends say they would hang out with me, then turn around and plan something with someone else. It would sadden me at first, and I would get offended. Then I realized that that person wasn't trying to hurt me. We aren't perfect, and people make mistakes. We just gotta learn to forgive and forget. It can be hard to do, but we are strong. We can be a bigger person in a situation.
Hi, I'm Talaya. I'm in 10th grade, and I'm going to read The Cabin. Emery was lost, desolate, and alone. There was no one to help her. It was a frosty, cold winter day that she found only the snow-capped trees as her friend. Today she no longer had a family or friends. She got dropped here in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the woods, because she was wrong. She was wrong about her family and her friends, because she thought that they had loved her, but they didn't. They loved her enough to betray her and hand her over to die alone. Emery cried softly, the tears on her face running down into the icy blanket around her. Then, in that moment, when Emery thought there was no hope, she saw something. It was a vision, a flare of hope, a spark in the Arctic forest. The vision that she saw was a cabin, warm and cozy, with a kind-hearted family gathered around a table eating soup. And by the family's heels, she saw a tiny little wolf pup. It was like a dream. But Emery knew that the cabin was out there somewhere. She could almost feel it. So with this new hope inside of her, and determination to stay alive, she moved her feet. She was going to stay alive and find this cabin, or die trying.
Hi, my name is Katie. I'm a second year at American River College, and I'm going to be reading a piece entitled This Semester, aka my letter to Chatham, Julie for following me, taught me bad about college. This semester. This semester is the one I will remember. It's the semester that I conquered my fears. It's the semester when I realized that maybe I could handle this college thing. It was the semester that I decided that I was ready. Ready to face each semester with a new idea. Ready to tackle the necessary classes. Ready to work on myself. This past semester, I realized so much. I realized that my worth is not determined based on the grade that I receive. I realized that sometimes striving for that B is okay. I realized that I was and am capable of getting what I want. I realized that each assignment is worth attempting if only to see what happens. I realized that I have the ability to write darn good papers. I realized I actually kind of want to finish community college. This was the semester that I decided to let go of fear, to ask questions when I was curious, to try my hand at something new, knowing that I may not succeed, to believe in myself, to be willing to fight for what I want, to realize that my present situation doesn't have to be the end, to understand that a bad grade in the beginning is not the end of the world, to realize that I know so much more than I think I know, to realize that even with less free time, I'm still able to pass my classes, to decide that I was worth taking a chance on. This was a semester that I realized. I realized that small adjustments made the biggest of differences, that every assignment is worth trying at because in the end, you might shock yourself. A piece of the puzzle each day does in fact make the grade. But at the end of the day, I totally understood and maybe even actually believe this. I got this.